says journey set up. So we're going to be number 2 Park Springs. So you're going to be going around Gainsbourgh's housing estate. It's not exactly big, probably about half an hour journey.
Ah, yeah. What?
Oh, wrong ticket. Well, that's my bad. What time are we due to depart? 12:06, 12:14, I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Let's fast forward time. Just bear in mind you can fast forward time while on the timetable, but you can't rewind it.
Hiya, driver.
Yeah, we'll be setting off in a few seconds. That's our cue. Any of you have any questions, feel free to say something. I have got the chat open. You know, you're on OMSI 2 Bus Simulator. Some prefer others and some don't. It is what it is, really. I love this for the physics. For me, the physics is what makes this game. Just bear in mind you're in a proper DLC bus, and its physics are really, really good. It clips the ABS when it should. It bounces when it should. Your timetable works in real time as well. Most routes are well under an hour long. But, I mean, waiting for a minute because you're running ahead of schedule, all that is anticipated in this game. And obviously you get penalised for the times that you're too late or too early. A bit like in real life, they get fined if they're too late or too early without good reason, really.
A day rider, please.
you are in the short version of the ENVIRO 200. So this bus is only 8.9 metres long, it's a baby really. And because it's a baby, it has the same powerful engine, a 180 horsepower Cummins, which also means it sets off that bit quicker as well, so when you get back on the accelerator you really do have to be a little bit careful, especially from standstill. I mean, as it is, I'm only slightly touching the pedal now, just to keep it at speed. I push any more, even just a little bit more, I'll start seeing the speed increase. The throttle is really sensitive on these buses, and so is the brake, which in real life they are as well, so everybody blames bus drivers when they brake too hard, but in reality it's the equipment that they get given. It's the same with this bus as well, the physics are so great. You know, the brakes are super sensitive, which I've been told by a bus driver on the ENVIROs, the brakes are really, really bad for sensitivity anyway, which to me that is very realistic. The handling of the bus is really realistic as well. G-force is really realistic. You can make your passengers scream and want to get off your bus really badly. Kickdown's also really realistic. It will kick straight down into a gear. We are going to have to pull over for a minute. Running about a minute early. But yes, this ENVIRO 200 is a non-DLC bus. It will be becoming DLC within the next 6 months. But same again, it really is a good bus. The ENVIRO 500s as well. One thing to learn about this game, it's not about the scenery, it's all about the physics of the bus, the timetables, the passengers. It's not the most best bus sim for the scenery, to be honest. Scenery has looked better in a lot of other games. And there's bus sims out there that the scenery looks smashing, but the physics don't quite compete to driving a real bus. They don't handle as you'd expect. For that, I have to take them away, because driving a bus, you need a real feel to it. And not just that, but with OMSI, your bus takes different times and different rates of distance to slow down depending on how many passengers you've actually got on board. So that also really does make it the ultimate physics for buses. Like I say, if you've got anything you want to ask, just let me know. The only bad thing I've really found with OMSI support is it doesn't support over a 32 button controller. I've got a 40 button box here, and there's just a few of these it misses out because the game only supports up to a 32. The second bad thing is the game is very poorly optimised, so you have to really babysit the game for it to work good. But if you can put those two aside and you know what you're doing, by far for physics it's the best bus sim. By far. I mean, it's like this ENVIRO 200 I'm driving right now. Every functionality of the bus is in this bus. Even the kneel down, everything is in here. Air conditioning, passengers complain when it's too hot, too cold, demister, the silencers for your reversing icon. So it is all there. Even your fire suppression system's all there. You know, if you're clever enough to know what you're doing, you can program failures into your bus. That's quite funny. So your bus can actually break down as well. You've got an advanced board computer on the dashboard like the real ENVIRO 200 has. Oh, I've just gone the wrong way. This is a dead end. Let's try reversing on the mirrors. I can see that there. We're okay for the curb. Looking at any passengers that might be coming out. The curb's there. Take it back just nice and slowly. See, reversing a bus is a little bit harder than reversing an HGV, simply because an HGV bends in the middle. So you can predict where it's going to go. But with a bus, it's one whole unit, so you have to counter steer in advance, and that is not always so easy to do. Especially at the same time as watching out for passengers crossing the road. So yeah, that was a nice little unexpected challenge. I went the wrong way. It wouldn't be the first time. Especially when I test routes as well. I have got a bunch of other routes, you know, if anybody wants them streaming. But with all this talking, I am 1 minute and 40 seconds late. So let's whack the speed up to 30 miles an hour. Nobody at the stops anyway, so, and we are running late, which means that's a good thing. And we're not speeding, we're only doing 30, and that is in miles an hour, by the way. That's not kilometres, that is English miles an hour. But this road is a bit bad, to be honest. That's a passenger. Warrenwood School.
What?
Oh, he's got his own ticket, that's even better. We will make up that minute. But when you've got plenty of stops, that shows you how hard it is sometimes even just to make up a minute at a time. It's not easy. Also, this bus is more easily turnable, simply because it's the 8.9 metre rather than the 11.2 metre that the standard buses are. No passengers, that's what I like. And we've got a turning coming up.
Hello. One day rider, please. Thank you very much.
I usually stick to about 25 mile an hour in the housing estates. It's fast enough and you don't need to bomb it all the way down. This game is not about top speed. You don't want it too uncomfortable. Oh, slow down. That's double speed. Oof. Yeah, you don't really want to be bombing anywhere because you're in an heavy vehicle as it is. And then you're making that vehicle heavier with the passengers on board. Is she at this bus stop to get on? Obviously not. But these are. We'll have to slow right down for that. Have I turned the wrong way again? I wouldn't put it past me. Yes, I have. Right, well, traffic's fine that way. Oh, this is a really good demonstration, isn't it? First time of streaming this and I took 2 wrong turnings. I suppose it does show you how realistic it is if you don't know your route off by hand. I mean, the visual aids are there to help you, but if you're not watching them, then you still will take a wrong turn. Yeah, we should have gone down here. So we are 2 minutes late again now. Nobody wants that stop, that's good. We're only doing 30 mile an hour. Oh, we have got passengers in Fillingham Close.
Hi, sweetie.
Just be careful not to turn too tight because you will clip your back wheels on the corner, and the passengers really don't like that.
I am.
Oh, she wants a weekly ticket. There you go. Oh look, the other ENVIRO 200. Well, we're nearly back at the motorway now. The motorway will definitely recuperate another minute or two. So that's really good. You do have to be careful when slowing a big heavy vehicle like this down though. On the motorway itself, the bus drives really good. But slowing the bus down from high speed above 40 miles an hour isn't easy. And the bus steering does become a bit sensitive above 40 as well. I mean, this is limited to 52 miles an hour, I think it is. It won't do any more than that. It says 56 on the bus, but in reality it's 52 to 53. Which is a good thing really, because buses don't need to go any quicker than that. The important thing is when driving a bus you brake early. You don't brake late at all. We've got no buses yet, and we have got a bus full of people. People should be starting to get off anytime soon, because we're not far from the depot. Ah, there we go. That's as cute to start stopping again. So we're around the corner again from Gainsbourgh depot. If I got time I might show you one more bus. I might take a big double decker. last stop is the depot. And now we are back at Gainsbourgh depot. So like I said, it's about an half an hour journey and it's quite decent, to be honest. It's a good test of your skills, is the Gainsbourgh map. Open my doors and all my passengers will get off. As you can see there, once you complete a journey, you get your timetable analytics, and it shows you your time differences, where you're going wrong. You've got a gap time of 2 minutes either side, so you can't be over 2 minutes late, you can't be over 2 minutes early. And I think for this game it's a reasonable, for the average map it's a reasonable gap time. But like if you are part of the London project, that gap time is so small because everything moves so quick. And that's that part of the journey done. So if I cancel the timetable now, everybody's off the bus. Let us see if we can change buses. See, that is an ENVIRO 200. And then what we have is a 400 MMC. Same again, they are quite decent. Both available with a front 2-door and 1-door bus. This is a DLC. I actually paid for this. And to be honest, I've driven it and it's well worth its money every day. Every day it's well worth its money. So we want the dual door ZF transmission, 10.3 metre, double decker. That is personally one of my favourites. These buses do take a while to load because they are very detailed models. This one is, let's have a look at the information we've got on there. Yes, it is a Cummins ISB6, 6-cylinder, 250 horsepower with ZF Eco Life 6-speed transmission. We'll leave it on the demonstrator paint job, and then we'll put the bus on Gainsbourgh at Gainsbourgh bus station. I've driven this bus on all the maps and it really is a fantastic bus. It has a few downsides like anything, but it is a really good bus to drive. So in a minute that will go in the game. There we go. Sorry about the wait. So that's the bus in the game. So this is the ENVIRO 400. And as you can see, when we take a look around, it is very different. Similar look. Let's take the steering wheel off. Similar look, but in some ways very different again. So, you know, it just goes to show you really just what differences each bus has, and some you can tell are made by the same manufacturer. This one is a really, really quiet bus. These buses are not noisy at all. Together paired with EEC, which is an electronic start. Oh, wrong code, driver code 408726. Okay, skip. Pin code 4763. Okay, no timetable active. Well, that's good news. That is very good news. So we will set a timetable. Gainsbourgh depot. So we are going to test a new one now. We are going to go to Leah Green. Oh no, we can't. We're not at Leah Green. I'll tell you what, we'll just do the standard number 2 service again. 1244. Number 2 Park Springs. Now, on a ticket machine, the proper timetable has come up, and we can see its timetable to select there, matching 2 trips, because you need to come back to Gainsbourgh once you've done. So accept that, accept the journey times, and there's your first stop ready for you. The little square at the bottom that's in red, when that goes to yellow, then it's a warning. When it goes to red, you're either too early or too late, and when it turns to black, you're on time. So that gives you an idea, leaving and entering each stop, just how much on time you are. Now let's stop gabbing and let's put this bus in drive. Oh, I forgot about this bus. You have to have the foot on the brake to put it in drive, or it will not go in. Same again, that is another safety feature that is on this bus, and it makes it all that more realistic. Also, another thing to know, that annoying indicator beep has been quiet.
Hello, mate.
80p with a £10 note. Oh. 80, 20, and a 5.
Hello, mate.
150. That's a child return. 50p.
Hello, mate. Return, please.
Return, adult return. Adult return, £3 and a £2 coin back.
Lovely. Cheers.
So as you can see, take a look at the outside of this bus. Well, take a look at the inside first. Everybody will recognise this bus. Take a look at the outside. This is the twin door version. This is the twin door version, and it really is a nice model. Really realistic to drive as well. And all these cameras you see on the outside of the bus, they do work. If I go to my top display, you can see all the cameras here, and I can switch to camera here as well. So it really is realistic. And unlike real buses, these cameras actually work. So I'll come back from that view now. We'll be ready to set off in a minute. And I want to just adjust my viewing angle like that. That's better. That's the back door shutting, as you can see on the screen on the dashboard. And that's the front door shutting. And now the bus is in really quiet mode again, because remember, this is 10.8 meters long. It's got twice the power, but is a double decker as well. Same technology it's built on, off the 200 MMC. but its maximum load capacity is 19.5 ton, which is really good on a bus. Oh, we've got a passenger wanting to get off. That's a bit early. The mirrors are at a different distance, so you have to be careful. Gainsbourgh Asda. Open the back doors. That's just a warning buzzer to tell me that the doors are still slightly open. If you hit the air brake too early, it sets it off for a second. Now that bus is so smooth. There's nothing to the bus really. It's so quiet, it's smooth. See, we're doing 30 now and it doesn't even look like we're doing 30. Ooh, that was a harsh red line. The cab sounds are greatly heightened as well, simply because the bus volume is so low. You can hear everything in the cab, absolutely everything. Buttons, switches. When your engine's a lot more noisier, you don't hear things like that so much. Oh, we got a green, we got a green, we got a green. Also, the 400 MMC does have ESC starter, which basically means if you try and set off too fast, it will reduce your throttle automatically. It's really good. I mean, every company calls that aid something different, but more naturally it's called an ESC. It stops you skidding off or wheel spinning.
Morning, sweetie.
Everything on this bus is standardly set on automatic. Air cooling, auto, air conditioning, auto. It's the perfect passenger vehicle really. I mean, everybody's been on an ENVIRO 400 and they're commonly used all over the country and they are very comfortable from what buses used to be. And extremely quiet. an eye out for the signs this time. I don't want to take a wrong turn. The only thing I don't like about this particular bus is the brakes are really, really touchy. Even worse than the ENVIRO 200. I mean, the brakes are really bad. Don't get me wrong, they're good for strength, but it's too much strength a lot of the time. They're too keen. But then again, you've got to bear in mind the weight of the vehicle. But I'm sure there's something the companies could do to not make brakes on a bus so sensitive. Even going over bumps in the ENVIRO 400, there's no big bangs, there's no little rattles, but really that's about all you hear from this bus. It's just little rattles because everything's so cushioned. And yes, the 400 MMC is the one with the built-in USB ports, and so is some models of the 500 as well. Do have to stop at the next stop for a minute though. We are a little bit early. That was me flipping the curb. I felt that. Let me just fast forward time and then we don't have to wait around, you see. There we go. This bus is wider as well than the 200. Not a lot wider, but wider to make a difference. Ooh, I felt that. I was only doing 22 miles an hour. In a big long bus like the ENVIRO 400, some of these corners on the housing estate you have to take real care returning. Not to clip the back wheels, not to hit a car by an inch while you're going round. It does really put your driving skills to the ultimate test driving a big double decker like this. Especially having to stop and start through the housing estate as well. And then all the bumps in the road that you're not going too fast, not going to hurt somebody. Like I said, if anybody watches this later on or now, live, if there's any comments, anything you want to know, anything you want to see as well, just drop me a comment in there and I will be glad to get back to you. And if it's something you want me to stream, then I'll make it happen. Like I said, there is other bus sims out there that do look nicer than this. But OMSI 2 bus sim has to be A-class for the physics of driving a bus. The way it stops, the way it turns, it's just so realistic. Especially with good model buses as well. Woo! That's my bad, that's a passenger for my bus. And that's about the maximum brakes without clipping ABS. Clipping not to clip ABS on the 400 series is a challenge. Because the brakes are so sensitive on the 400, clipping the ABS is something you do on every journey really. Until you really get used to just how far you can push the braking pedal, which is not easy.
Hello, mate. A day rider, please.
Ticket price $3.90. Adult day rider 10p, £1 and £5.
Oi, nice try, mate. You haven't given me enough change. Lovely. Cheers.
There we go. I missed the coin. Oops. No passengers at that stop. That's better for me. Same again on the 400 MMC, you do have the advanced dashboard and board computer as well. So any air pressure warning, any fluctuation, you'll soon know about it. Fairfax close.
Single.
Adult single 150. Issue. And we're on time, so we can go straight again. From a childish point of view, it is really funny when you drive really fast over the speed bumps. You hear all your passengers complain. I mean, so far we've not had one peep out of the passengers, so my driving must be really good. Because you've got to be gentle, you can't just swing your bus at 30 miles an hour around the bend. And the G-force of the weight from that is, there will be a lot.
What?
Replay ticket, £10 issue.
Single.
Adult single, 150. You have got the same anti-locking steering mechanism in place. It's a little warning light on your dashboard that shows up when the bus is at the maximum rate of angle.
Good day, driver.
So in other words, if you're going around a corner and applying too much steering, that light will show up to say that you need to slow down or reduce your rate of turn. A really clever thing, to be honest. I mean, it only works at low speed anyway. It doesn't work at high speed, because as soon as your bus is manoeuvring and got momentum, you can turn tight. You know, you can use your full length for your steering anyway. Watching that car behind the bus. Is he going to have to overtake or wait?
A day rider, please.
Adult day rider, 390 paid with 10, so that's
Lovely. Cheers.
okay. Set back off again. This bus is actually really relaxing to drive. Oh, and there's me other bus. And here's the motorway, so his journey is nearly over. The acceleration on the 400, ENVIRO 400, does suffer, to be honest, but it does do quite reasonable for the weight, height and width of the vehicle. It doesn't do such a bad job, but it's not got the acceleration the 200 MMC does, which is a single decker we just drove previous to this. And this does have a top speed of 56 mile an hour. It is limited. Even though, because we're going downhill, it is slightly going quicker than that. Now when you go around that last bend like I just did, that's when you really feel the extra width on the bus between curb to curb. That's passengers getting off. And they are off, okay. Now we're going to go through Gainsbourgh village the other way and then straight to the bus depot. And then that will conclude our stream today. I mean, thank you for anybody live that's been watching. It's good to have live participants. Also for feedback as well. I do enjoy all types of feedback. And there's me opening the wrong doors on the bus. Red lights hitting pedestrians is all really realistic. The only thing I do have turned off is oh, I thought it was going to come straight out then. I'm glad it didn't, but I had my brakes ready. The only thing I do have turned off is vehicle collision, simply because some of the custom made maps, the traffic can be really bad at just pulling out and you're forever stopping, and just in case, I have that turned off simply because when you do have an AI vehicle collision, you have to park up, hazards on, call the police, and it robs about 12 minutes off your timetable time for something that's not even your fault. So I have that turned off. It's about the only thing I've turned off really. Bumps, lighting, suspension, all turned on. So I'm surprised my passengers now haven't actually screamed at me yet, you know, get me off this bus. I mean, I would. So let's park up at stand 3 because that's universal for all stops. We've got a disabled sign on the dash for the disabled door. And that's his timetable again. And we did perfectly okay. The time arrival difference 41 seconds, 5 seconds, 1 minute 20, 1 minute 29. That's his most difference. So that is really good. That's a good timetable. And a good bus as well. So let's end that timetable now. We don't want to do no more driving. If I really want to be realistic, I could